Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus.
This is The Ray Taylor Show.
Rayz Dayz, episode 156. This is a weekly diary podcast hosted by me, Ray Taylor. Every Saturday, I share updates on my journey as an artist, podcaster, business owner, and human being. I'm excited to share my experiences with you and hope that my journey can serve as a source of inspiration and positivity for you. In this episode, I am talking about my Restrict Act worries. I talked more about the Restrict Act on Swipe Up, the podcast that comes out Thursdays. Kind of a crazy Patriot Act 2.0 that the government is trying to push through as some kind of TikTok ban, which is complete bullshit. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, not too much about it. Also going to be talking about the weather, my sleep, my health, which it's been a rough week, people. I'm talking about some changes to the events that I've been doing, or one of the events that I've been doing, and also my continued search for new events to participate in. I'm also talking about my strategies for dealing with or avoiding online hate, as I've mentioned before. YouTube comments, social comments, people, you deal with that. You deal with that as somebody that puts content out into the world. You're going to receive hate back because that is what the internet is so good at generating. And I'm talking about how I've been dealing with it, changes I've been making, techniques I've been doing. Also going to talk a little bit about earthquakes, as we recently got one here in the desert. And of course, as always, as I do at the end of every episode of Rayz Dayz, I'm going to be highlighting something I am thankful for this week. So my week, my worries about this bill, the Restrict Act bill that they are calling a TikTok ban, which is, far more evil than that. It's something that will give the government the ability to eliminate small businesses in this country, along with all kinds of other things they could do. But since this podcast, I talk about what I'm doing as an artist, how I'm trying to make money, survive as an artist, podcaster, all of these things, all of the things that I do, literally, social media, website, taking payments through my website, taking payments using Square or any of the other financial apps at live events, producing and releasing my podcast. Everything that I do relies on the internet, relies on services, internet-based services. And this bill, the Restrict Act, will allow the president, whoever's president at any given time. I voted for Biden, and I'm not stoked at him having this ability, considering I consider Joe Biden to be a fairly conservative politician. He is friends with a lot of the most disgusting conservative politicians. He has he governs in a very conservative manner, far more conservative than I would like. And even if he wasn't president, obviously, best case scenario would be Biden. But if some fascist like DeSantis or Trump became president, this clearly could be used to weaponize and shut down small businesses instantaneously. Because this bill affects any device or service that uses the internet. Whether it's your hardware devices, modems, servers, routers, phones, laptops, smart TVs, any device that uses the internet, any software or application that uses the internet, anything that utilizes the internet in any way can be censored or shut down by the government. The person who is in charge of the committee who decides who and how to label is a threat to this country, has no oversight. It is a position that is appointed by the president. It is a position that does not require the public to know their decisions. It is a position that does not require them to justify their actions. It basically gives this person that the president appoints to that position full reign to shut down any and all services, devices, anything associated with the internet. And so much more than just the Patriot Act, which allowed the government to spy on all of the citizens. This allows them to literally shut things down. And TikTok is not even, they're selling it on TikTok because they want to sell the idea. They want to make you scared of TikTok. They want to make you scared of China. But the crazy thing with this bill is that there are Republican and Democrat politicians who are against it. Even Tucker Carlson from Fox News spoke out about probably the only honest thing that man has ever said, speaking out against this Restrict Act. So I've seen a lot of takes on this. I've seen a lot of people break it down. But the thing that worries me, aside from living in a country that can be shut down in the same ways North Korea is shut down, our entire livelihoods can be shut down and censored and monitored and controlled by the government, which is absolutely ridiculous, completely eliminating any kind of idea of freedom of speech in this country. But specifically, the ways in which this bill can destroy small businesses that rely on internet-based tools, internet-based ways of processing, internet marketplaces. It really would give them that ability to where if they wanted to, which politicians primarily do the bidding of major corporations and billionaires. And a great way to force people back into working for major corporations and for billionaires and millionaires is to not allow them to create their own businesses, to not allow them to be self-sustaining financially. And if they wanted to, they could instantaneously shut down small businesses' ability to process payments, as just a small example. Not a mentioning to all the other things they do, which if you can't process payments, how is anybody going to pay for anything? You can't. It shuts down commerce completely, whether you're doing it online or if you're using services like Square, where you're able to take credit card payments in person, right? As I do as somebody that does events. So I'm worried about this for a lot of reasons, but specifically the fact that it could instantaneously, every single thing that I've spent my life, the last decade plus, growing, learning, doing, producing, could be irrelevant. Literally with the passing of a bill like this bill, or whatever version of this bill they try to put through if this one gets shut down. And they will try to either put it through like they did the Patriot Act, wait for and allow, possibly, depending on your views of 9/11, allow for a tragic event to happen in order to scare people, because that's how they are able to convince people. It's like, get them scared, act like this thing is going to help protect them, which is bullshit, and then they put it through, right? They tried to scare everybody with China and TikTok, and it's pretty easily transparent how bullshit that was, including the congressional hearing with the TikTok CEO, where they don't understand basic ideas of technology or how anything works. So if this gets shut down, they will be waiting for some event like that, or try to sneak it through in some other way, right? So, but it scares me. It scares me because it's like, what is the point? I'm doing this. I've sacrificed so much to do these things, right? I used to work for a major corporation, one of the more, one of the corporations that is generally regarded as good, quote unquote good, which I disagree with, but I couldn't do it. I don't want to use the life I have in order to spend my time generating money for dipshits to get wealthy. That's not how I want my life to be spent. And if something like this is forcing me to spend my life in that way, then, as somebody that's been severely depressed off and on with bipolar over my entire life, contemplated at many times in my life, at the lowest points in my life, ways in which to opt out, let's say. If that were to happen, it's just like, well, then what's the point? What am I even doing, right? So, not a fan of this thing, and hopefully everybody will take the time, look up the Restrict Act. Don't try and look it up on Facebook or Instagram because it will be impossible searching anything on those. One great example to show how censored the products from Meta are as already is do a search for France on IG and Facebook, and then do that same, just type France, hit search, see what shows up. Then go on to TikTok, type in France, and see what shows up. And when you go to TikTok, it will show you what's actually going on in France, and you'll see why they don't want you. They don't want government, big corporations. They don't want you to have that connectability. They don't want you to be able to communicate. They don't want you to be able to organize. They don't want you to be able to see what's actually going on, which is something that Twitter used to do back in the day, but now that's run by, an insane person. Meta is run by an insane person. So it's sad that we have like this one option of TikTok. And also, the idea that you can get around that using a VPN is specifically going, and the penalties for this are insane. So look into the Restrict Act, contact your politicians, tell them that if they vote for this bullshit act, that you're going to do everything in your power to get their opponent in the next primary election elected, supported, funded, all of those things to get them out of there. Get them scared that they're going to lose their job. Get them scared that they're going to lose their ability to write laws in order to boost their investment portfolios, as most of these politicians who are pushing for this bill are heavily invested in Facebook and Meta, and they think that by pushing this through will, as they do, inflate their stock prices and make them a bunch of money. So I wanted to mention that again on this episode, even though I talked about it on Swipe Up. Let's take a quick break from this episode because I want to talk about, are you looking to add some unique and expressive artwork to your home, office, or wardrobe? Look no further than the Many Faces series by Ray Taylor. That's me. These abstract paintings on paper explore the endless possibilities of the human face, capturing unique expressions of emotion, mood, tone, and energy in just a few minimal features. Now you can bring these stunning and thought-provoking pieces into your own space with high-quality prints and t-shirts, featuring designs from the Many Faces series. Or take home a one-of-a-kind original piece for your collection. Don't miss out on this opportunity to add some original and expressive artwork to your home, office, or wardrobe. Head on over to InspiredDisorder.com to browse and purchase original artworks, prints, and t-shirts from the Many Faces series today. And now, back to the show. It's been crazy. I'm like, it's been a long day. I woke up early. I didn't really sleep great. It's been super windy again. The weather in Southern California fluctuating, super windy. And the last time it was super windy, I got sick. I woke up sore throat yesterday. Today, I'm like, last night, I getting the crackles in my chest, which is not good. So far, thankfully, I only had this episode and one more episode of recording to do, and it seems like I will survive. My Sunday episode might be a little rough, but not feeling great. Definitely it's in my lungs. Had a cough, like slept like garbage. Whether it's the noise of the wind, where it sounds like the roof is going to be torn off this garage, or up most of last night with a cough, or just my dog not sleeping for whatever reason at night. She sleeps all day during the day, no problem, while I'm working. And then when I'm trying to go to sleep, get a good night's sleep before I have to get up and record 6 hours of podcasts, I hear my dog just walking around constantly, and I wake up because I assume she's going to go to the bathroom, so I have to let her out. And it was horrible sleep last night. Not feeling good today. Wasn't feeling that great yesterday. So kind of the Restrict Act, the weather. I love the colder weather, but getting sick is not cool, especially when it gets in my lungs, because I can get bronchitis pretty easy, and I can't afford that. But also, it's like when it rains, it pours. One of the events, I'm not going to mention the specific event, but one of the many events that I'm trying to participate in changed, and it's becoming more expensive. And it's tough, man. It's tough that's like, it's not my only source of income, obviously. People can buy stuff through my website. So definitely working to figure out ways to promote the products on my website and get more traffic going to my website. Also YouTube, monetizing the Facebook and TikTok. There's potential, although Facebook, like every video I upload to Facebook, says that my video is not able to be monetized, which is hilarious, because I use free use music, and it's just my paintings or clips of this show. So I don't understand why they're not monetizing, but not surprising that Facebook wouldn't want to actually, like, that's a great way to like trick people into posting stuff, is like, oh, we're going to pay you, but then everything you upload is not monetizable. My YouTube, which usually it fluctuates constantly, but at times has paid my rent, has been at the lowest it's ever been, and I'm like, it's like, it sucks. It sucks, man. Just income in general is like, so when things getting expensive, you have to spend money to make money. I'm running out of the money that I can spend, so it's like kind of it's getting into a tricky situation, and it's like I need to figure out, and it's not like I can just go get a job. I haven't had a normal job, and I would have to like cut things out. Like I'd have to either produce less podcasts, which I'm kind of thinking about doing anyway, or something. I'd have to cut something out because I'm pretty much working nonstop, doing everything, getting everything done. But the idea of getting some kind of part-time job or whatever to help is not good, and probably not likely, considering where I live, the summer months, everybody leaves the desert. So people wouldn't be hiring during the summertime. But I need to, there are events that happen that I will be able to do that I know are happening in Palm Springs. There's a weekly Village Fest, it's called. So I will probably do those during the summer. Hopefully I can afford to do those. And might do them sooner. It's a weekly thing on Thursdays in Palm Springs. So the goal is I just need to try and float till get to fall, September, October, when people come back. And then hopefully these other shows that I'm doing gain more traction. I don't know. I'm just continuing doing my thing, trying to find ways I can improve. Obviously using ChatGPT to find ways to, and ideas to do things better, do things more efficiently, hopefully find strategies in order to bring people into just getting eyeballs on my website. I might try and do Etsy again, although I think the reason why I keep turning my Etsy account off is because it costs money to post. Not a lot, like, a few bucks or whatever, but there's no traction. Like it's enticing because it's a marketplace where people can go, like an Amazon, and like stumble on my stuff. And they have things where you can promote your work. And I've done that before, but it's like I'll set my budget at like $5 a day, but they won't even promote my work. So I'm not even paying they're not even reaching my daily budget of what I'm willing to spend to promote the work that they're not even trying to sell my work. They're not even trying to promote. They don't want my money, which is insane. So I don't know. I'm still chugging along. Still just focusing on the things that I can control, right? I can't control what Congress is going to do with this Restrict Act. I can't control what events are going to do as far as contacting me back or changing their prices or whatever they're going to do. I only have so much control over enticing people into watching my stuff on YouTube. But so I just focus on what I can focus on, and what I have control over is the work that I do, trying to make sure I do good work, trying to make sure that my art continues to progress, that I continue to do high quality work, trying to find ways to improve on doing everything, right? So those are the things I'm doing to just kind of keep going, right? Because I can't stop. It's just I got to keep going, right? I didn't save anything for the swim back. I'm trying to get to the other side, right? So consistency, high frequency, just constantly doing the things. And one of the things to help also to just avoid negativity, which comes in the form of YouTube comments, comes in the form of Facebook or even TikTok or Instagram, negative comments people have, whether it's not agreeing with my review on a movie, which I'm way more okay with. It usually is comments on clips or episodes of Swipe Up, which is where I talk about current events, news articles, political stuff, give my opinions, and I'm very progressive, left-leaning person. My opinions align with that in many ways. And some of the most hateful people are on the fascist side of the spectrum, which has been only emboldened and encouraged to be openly hateful since Trump started to run for president in 2015. So trying to avoid those comments, because I notice that even if I just see them, right, I'm not intending on replying. If I just see the comments, I can't help but in my head have those arguments in my head, which are pointless, right? I can't just let go of it. So trying to avoid reading comments at all. I took the YouTube Studio app off my phone for the most part. I have to dig to find it. And I usually, the only time I'm on YouTube Studio is when I'm uploading my stuff, either producing the the videos for my paintings, or producing Sunday nights when I'm producing this show. So I might see comments then. I'm a lot closer to seeing them, because they show, I wish maybe there is a way to do it on just the dashboard of the YouTube website. It shows you kind of a brief summary of your analytics, your recent videos and their views, what the analytics are current, the most recent views, what's kind of tracking recently, and then also will give you a few of the most recent comments. If there's a way to just remove the comment portion of the dashboard from that, so I can't just casually see it when I'm on the dashboard, I have to actually physically click on the comments tab, that would be great. Because sometimes I will just be on the dashboard and see a comment and I'm oh, this is so stupid, I gotta reply to this. And yeah, so I just realized I just need to avoid comments anytime I open an app Instagram or even TikTok and I see that comments are there. I'm uh-oh, here we go, right? Which in some ways prepares me, right? Anticipating it's going to be bad. thankfully, I have like limits on screen time limits on both TikTok and all my social media. So I don't use them as much as I used to. So I'm kind of usually I'll only see it when I are uploading my clips in the morning when I upload all of my content. But obviously, the main time I want to avoid is at night. Because if I see one of these comments at night and I don't comment on it, I don't respond to it, then I will literally stay up all night thinking. I will have arguments with that person, right? Or even if I see it in the morning, I'll have arguments with that person all day, and then maybe at night in the afternoon I'll finally reply. But just avoiding it altogether is way better. And then there's times where I know I'm in a good mindset. Like, I know I'm mentally prepared for hate. I mean, most of the time, I know what these comments are going to be. Like, I know what their arguments are. And they're all, like, regurgitation of propaganda and memes that, like, if you go... Like, there's so many times where, like, somebody will talk shit, and I'll go to their page, and assuming it's one of the few times it's not, like, a private account or a burner account altogether, and you see the content they post on social media, usually the people that are the most hateful, their entire personality is hate memes. Like, you go to their account, and like every post is just them posting some meme that they did not create that in some ways supports their delusional beliefs. So it's like, you know, they're just trolls. They're not like trying to have an honest discussion. I'm never going to convince them. They're never going to convince me. But it's just like they want to spew hate. And I can't help but want to respond to it. So just avoiding it altogether unless I know that I'm in the mindset to be like, let's see what's going on. Because I do still want to be interactive with people because they're not all hateful. Some people like enjoy my work and have honest questions. So I want to be able to respond to them. So it's a tough thing, but, you know, really trying to focus on avoiding the hate, which is tough online. Let's take a quick break right now to talk about, are you a fan of original artwork and live events? Look no further than the Many Faces series by Ray Taylor and the weekly live stream over at youtube.com/Inspired Disorder. This ongoing series explores the endless possibilities of the human face through abstract ink paintings on paper, capturing unique expressions of emotion, mood, tone, and energy in just a few minimal features. Join me every Thursday at 4:20 Pacific Time as I paint live. Follow the Many Faces series and discover the endless possibilities of the human face. Don't miss out on this opportunity to be part of the action and own a piece of original artwork by me, Ray Taylor. Head to youtube.com/Inspired Disorder every Thursday to catch the live stream, and visit inspireddisorder.com to browse and purchase the Many Faces artwork. And now, let's get back to the show. And then finally, this week, there's a little earthquake. It's been so long since I felt an earthquake. Usually they happen like at night. This one happened it was on Friday. It was like a 4.8. Not that far, a few miles away. Wasn't horrible. I mean, the earthquakes in the desert, they kind of roll. Like, they're not violent shaking kind of earthquakes. There's kind of a roll to them, which I grew up out here, and I've grew up feeling them my entire life, and they've never been insane in any way, even the big ones. It's kind of fun. Like, I really don't mind them. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It feels like I never feel them anymore. Either they happen at night or I just don't feel them, which is kind of weird because I remember them. It seemed like they happened a lot more growing up, and maybe they're just building up and there's going to be a big one at some point, which there's always worries and warnings of that happening. Who knows? So that's been kind of my week. Let's move on to what I am thankful for this week. A little show and tell. I geeked out over the dumbest thing, but it's like I'm so happy it worked. I love purchasing, as people know, I love getting a new tool that I can use the fuck out of. I love getting something that I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of. And part of doing these live events is I'm transporting a lot of my artwork, which are just pieces of paper, ink paintings on paper. I mean, are protected in a plastic sleeves, so they're all protected, but still there's potential for them to get bent and damaged, and I want to avoid that at all costs. And I take a lot of them. I take probably close to 200 paintings, and I display probably less than half of that. But I like having backups there, and I've been trying to figure out ways to kind of secure the paintings, bundle them together. And when I first started, I was just used a manila envelope that I would cut strips out of and kind of, tape them up and tape the strip to kind of hold it in place, and I could write on the thing to say what size it is and if these are the ones I want to display or if these are the backups or whatever. But so I was kind of like, I've been brainstorming what I could do to do a better job at storing, binding these paper together. I thought boxes, maybe, all this stuff. And then I looked on Amazon and I found these Velcro straps. Right? And I use Velcro straps for like cables. They're great for like binding cables. Right? Velcro, great, reusable, secure, works great. But most of them were like 1 inch thick, which is kind of narrow, and I didn't want them like digging in because that could damage the paintings also. But then I found 2 inch, and I ordered it, and I am so stoked. So I'm going to show, if you're watching the video, so these are 2 inch thick, wide binders. So this is the 4x6 paintings that I do, and there's probably close to 100 of them in here. I don't know. I could be way off on how many are actually in there. But I've been doing a lot more of the smaller size, the 4x6 and then 6x9 ones, which are here. Which the 40, which these are $40. The 4x6s are $20. And I just cut these cardboard pieces up to kind of be like bookends, so like the buckle doesn't dig in. But these are great, man. So, which is the 8x8s. So it's only Velcro really on one side. So it's not like typical Velcro where one side's the stiff kind and the other side is like the fluffy kind. Like this is almost like it's just stiff, but it connects to itself, right? Stiff on stiff. So that you can just cut it to size, right? The buckle, and then close it up. So you can cut them to size. So now, depending on, like if I go and I bring more, or if I go and I sell a bunch, I can always strap them up nice and tidy and secure, and makes it so much better. I was so stoked, and it showed up early, which I was trying to think. There was something else I ordered recently, and I probably talked about it on the show, but I don't remember what it was, where I was geeking out about this new thing that I ordered and how I can't wait to use it. And it felt very much like this, where I was very excited, and it's super easy. Super easy. I mean, it really holds tight, right? Like it doesn't, like it's not like something that is going to accidentally get brushed open. Like some Velcro stuff doesn't really hold very tight. It holds really tight. You can get it packed pretty tight, which is great, which is awesome. So super stoked. So I'm able to transport these, and I have a giant bin that kind of holds all of my gear for the events that I do. So now I can just kind of do that. So super stoked with the Velcro straps and the wide ones, not the 1 inch ones. And even when I was waiting for them to show up, I'm like, which side of the Velcro am I going to have on the outside? Should I have the stiff on the outside, or should I have the fluffy? And then when I get it, it's just like flat on one side, and it sticks to itself on the other side. It's perfect. So it came with like 40 buckles, and I didn't even use half of the Velcro. So I have a ton of extra Velcro to if I do bigger shows and take more art, I can use it to strap that down. Or I might use it for, like, I take some big paintings that are in frames. Maybe I'll take more and I could strap those all together. I don't know. I love it. It works great. It was pretty inexpensive. I don't remember how much it cost, but I love it. Here's the box actually. So, for those that are watching, it's like 2 rolls. Here's one half of the roll. So this is 1 roll. And then so I still have a little bit left from the first roll. And then it's just a bunch of these buckles. So you cut it to whatever size you want, and then, make it happen. It's perfect. I'm super stoked. So I'm very thankful for these. I'm very thankful that they exist. I'm thankful that they work perfectly for my needs. I'm thankful that they will help me transport and protect my artwork. Because what was happening with the strips, the bands I was using were basically one size, right? So taking them out was easy. Putting them back into the bands that I was using before was a little difficult. I'd have to bend them and kind of tuck it in there and put it in. But also at the show, going through, all of my art would just be kind of loose in the bin. And I couldn't secure it because the bands were loose because a bunch of paintings were being hung up on the nets. So now when I go to a show next month, because I don't have anything booked, spoilers for the next segment, but now when I go to a show, whatever's not hung up, all the backup paintings I have, right, because I'm prepared to sell out of everything I have at least 2 times. I have so much more art than I need with me, but you never know. Changing stuff, I kind of like this one better than that one, whatever. And it's nice to have backup, so when art does sell, I can just fill it in so there's no holes in my display. But I can still secure that stuff of the art that's not being used. So it works perfectly for my uses, and I love it, man. So I'm thankful this week for 2-inch Velcro straps that you can just cut to length. So, there's probably a lot of great uses for this other than what I'm using it for. But, if you need something to bind things together, you want some Velcro, and it holds pretty sturdy. I wouldn't necessarily use it for the back of your vehicle if you're moving or something and you want to tie stuff down. It's not like that necessarily. Maybe it would work for that, but definitely for stuff if you want to store things, if you want to bind things together for storing them, works great. But yeah, that's what I'm thankful for this week. Upcoming events, still haven't booked anything for April. Haven't even seen, one event I know isn't doing an April thing. They're doing it in May. The 111 Night Market coming back in May. Put in my application for that. Haven't heard back, but usually I'm sure there's plenty of time before when they give me the bill for that to sign up. But the other event, Love Local, haven't heard anything. Obviously, Easter is in April, so I don't know, and it's kind of a church kind of an event, so I don't know how they're dealing with it. Haven't seen anything from them either, so at this point, I have nothing booked at all, but tentatively should be the next 111 market in May, 3rd Saturday in May, which I'm not sure what the date is on that, but as the event comes up, I will promote it on this show. And as always, you can go to my website, inspireddisorder.com. As long as I'm allowed to run a small business, you can go to inspireddisorder.com/events for all of my upcoming live and local events. Obviously, all of the YouTube live paintings that I do are on that, which if I do or when I do start doing the Palm Springs Village Fest, they take place on Thursdays, which is the same day I paint live. So that, when I paint live, may change. So just a heads up if things may change with that, which kind of sucks because I've been doing Thursdays at 420 for years painting. So, but doing events and bringing in an income is better than painting live on YouTube. But I still want to be able to do that. So anyway, that is all for this episode. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to connect with all of you through this podcast and for the chance to share my journey with you as long as I'm able to continue on my journey. Please join the conversation by leaving a comment on your favorite podcast platform or over on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Tell your friends, rate, review, subscribe. YouTube.com/InspiredDisorder. And thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next Saturday for an all-new Rayz Dayz.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at InspiredDisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at InspiredDisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.